Nasa Oklahoma City na ang NBA veteran star na si Carmelo Anthony. Na-trade si Melo sa Thunder nitong weekend matapos magkasundo ang OKC at New York Knicks sa isang trade. Gaya ng trade nila para sa dating Indiana Pacers All-Star na si Paul George, walang kamalay-malay mga fans at analysts na may niluto na palang deal ang OKC front office para makuha si Melo na matagal nang gustong umalis sa New York. Ngayon, meron ng bagong Big Three ang OKC sa katauhan nila Melo at George plus the reigning MVP na si Russell Westbrook. Kilala ang tatlo bilang magagaling na isolation players kaya nakasalalay ngayon kay Coach Billy Donovan kung papaano niya mabiblend ang talents ng tatlong stars. Isa pang batchmate ni Melo sa 2003 NBA Draft ang nakatakdang lumipat naman ng kupunan. Nagkasundo na ang Chicago Bulls at veteran guard na si Dwayne Wade sa isang buyout. $8 million sa natitirang $23 million or $23.8 million salary ni Wade ang iiwan niya para maging free agent siya at makapili ng bagong team para sa darating na season. Naka-rebuilding mode na kasi ang Bulls at wala na siyang saysay para maglaro doon sa kanila si Wade. Ang chismis ngayon ay may 4 na teams na pinagpipilian si Wade. Kabilang dyan ang title contenders na Cleveland at OKC kung saan naglalaro ang mga BFFs niyang sina LeBron James at Carmelo Anthony. Kasama din sa tinitignan ni Wade ang Spurs at ang dati niyang koponan na Miami Heat. Grabe na ang reloading na ginawa ng ilang NBA teams ngayong off-season para wakasan ang nagsisimula pa lang na dynasty ng Golden State Warriors. Pero game changers pa nga ba ang mga veteran stars tulad nila Carmelo Anthony at Dwayne Wade? Kasama natin ngayon ang basketball analyst at blogger si Enzo Flojo to help us break this down. Enzo, welcome back to The Score.
Hey, Tej.
Wow, big news over the weekend. Akala natin tapos na eh.
Yeah.
We're all waiting for the preseason games to start next week and then, you know, camps are beginning. Pero eto pa, may huling pasabog pa si Sam Presti at ang New York Knicks management, of course. I'm sure Phil Jackson had a hand in this somehow. Pero anong initial reactions mo? We've heard the murmurs that Melo was eventually on his way out. But when it finally happened, you're like, what?
Well, I kind of felt like he was going to move teams, but I didn't expect it to be this soon. I felt as soon as maybe when training camp starts, perhaps. And you know, OKC was a very good team, but I didn't really imagine him being there. I thought the front runner was Houston, to be quite honest.
Yeah. And doon lumabas yung, doon lumilitaw naman kasi talaga na Melo, CP3 is there. Isa pa siya sa BFF niya.
And Banana Boat Boys.
Parang medyo mas fit siya doon because he can really play the small forward position on his own as CP and
James Harden there,
would be the 1 and 2. Pero now, he's going to have to share the space in the ball with Paul George, who's also the similar position, and then Russell. But let's break this down bit by bit. As a whole, for the Thunder, how do they win this trade? Of course, you only gave up, by the way, hindi namin nabanggit. Yung katrade niya nga pala, si Enes Kanter,
Doug
McDermott, at saka isang 2018 second round pick. Na. So they're going to be Knicks. But anyway, so other than them, how do you see this as a whole for now? Just for the Thunder, how does this make them better?
Well, this makes the loss of KD sink in a little less repulsively. I mean, you have Russell Westbrook, you got a key piece in Paul George, and now you have a big three. All of a sudden, you have a big three that you've never really had before. I mean, even when Harden was in OKC, you couldn't really say, hindi pa yung big three. But now, they're staring at a team that could potentially really give a serious run, against Golden State, against Houston, against San Antonio in the West. And, that's not a flash in the pan. This is something to take really, really seriously. And if you're an OKC fan, you're not simply thinking about, is Russ going to be the MVP again? You're already probably dreaming of, oh my God, we could have home court advantage in the first round, maybe moving to the second in the final. I don't know. All those possibilities are suddenly in play for OKC.
All right. For Carmelo Anthony, with all the drama that's been going on in his career and his life the last 3 years since he left Denver and went over there to New York, just things didn't work out as it was planned for him and the city, who loved the team, and they were hoping that he would be the savior and bring them back to the playoffs and all that. But for Melo, is this a good move for him? Is this somewhere where it's a good place for him to go?
Well, as someone who has always wanted to see him win big, I think this is a really tremendously good move for Carmelo Anthony. It shows the shift in his priorities. I mean, years ago we saw him, his main priority was getting into a big market, getting a lot of money, and not really caring about what other people said.
Right.
Now, I think he's more conscious about what he's leaving behind, his legacy, and he's aware that he's not really going to be able to advance his career if he stays in New York. And at the same time, New York's not going anywhere because they're hostaged by Carmelo's contract and his no trade clause and all those things. But now he's placed himself in a position where there's less pressure on him to carry the team, but he's a complement to the younger guys who can carry OKC. Russ, you got Paul George. He's going to be there to complete that triumvirate and help OKC return to the elite level in the NBA. That's a good thing for Melo, and I'm really excited for him and the Thunder.
Well, before we totally sweep them by the side, by the way, the New York Knicks, it's some decent moves for them. They're still trying to build around their new superstar, Kristaps Porzingis. How does this fare for the Knicks and for Kristaps?
I actually think this is a win for the Knicks also. I mean, this is a win for them because they finally have come to terms with the reality. But everyone knows already na talagang lose-lose situation na with Carmelo. They finally been able to pull the trigger on releasing that. And you have to give props to their new GM, Steve Mills, for being able to really do this move for New York. Now they're going all in on Kristaps. Who knows, maybe Enes Kanter can be part of that as well. He's not a superstar, but we've seen some flashes of brilliance with him. But by doing this, they're taking their destiny, the Knicks are taking their fate into their own hands, finally. And that's a really good way to move forward for them.
All right. Now, interestingly enough, how does this play as well and affect guys like Russell Westbrook? The reigning MVP, he pretty much did it on his own last year, averaged a triple-double. But now that you add these two pieces to his side, you've got a Paul George and a Carmelo Anthony, and he can score, obviously, he can do it all. He's still going to score and do it all, but now he's going to have to facilitate and balance the offense. What's it going to be like for Russell?
Well, last year, I think we can all agree it was a terrific season for Russell Westbrook. He was MVP. He averaged a triple-double for the entire season. It was amazing, it was brilliant. But it was also exhausting for him to carry this team, oftentimes all by his lonesome. And now he has two superstar guys who, at their best, can really lift this team into the same caliber as, like I mentioned, San Antonio, Houston, and Golden State. And I think for Russ, he welcomes that. He welcomes the fact that it's challenging to be able to play with two elite-level scorers like Paul George and Carmelo Anthony, but at the same time, he knows he needs these two guys for his team to go back to that level. And I think that for him, it's a win-win for Russell Westbrook.
Now the challenge falls on Billy Donovan.
Yes.
Sakit na ulo ba sa kanya to? I mean, it's a good problem you'd want to have as a coach. Really, now there's so much there will be pressure and expectation to go at least deep in the playoffs. And how to put this team together. What's it going to be like for? Remember, let's not forget how young he is in the NBA. Last year was this only his second
season in the NBA.
So what's it going to be like for Billy Donovan?
It's been a roller coaster ride for Billy Donovan, definitely. And ever since he came in after his stint in the NCAA, a lot of expectations have been heaped on him, and he's never really been able to just chill as a coach for OKC. Even last year, without KD, there was some pressure on him to make the playoffs because Russell Westbrook was so good. Now, he's never faced this kind of pressure and this set of expectations. And I honestly feel a little concerned for him, how he's going to handle this. Because you're talking about three guys who are stars from their old teams. And now you got to find a way to juggle all those egos, all those demands, all those expectations. It's going to be a big challenge for Billy Donovan. But at the same time, if he manages to find that sweet spot and that balance, it's going to be really, really good for him as well. But unlike yung case ni Eric Spoelstra before with Miami.
I was about to mention, at least Spo had a Pat Riley behind him.
Yes. And here, ang added pressure for Billy Donovan is after a year, Melo could opt out of his contract. Same thing for Russ. Paul George can be a free agent. So in essence, it's like one season or bust. Because if this goes sideways, all three of them, at the worst case, could leave OKC by next summer.
Right, exactly. So that's the pressure on them. Now, how does this affect others? Talk about the Lakers, because they're, of course, salivating that Paul George will just make that pit stop only in OKC. And come on over, Paul George. But for the diehard purple and gold out there, that they're really hoping that Paul George is going to make it. How does this put a snag in their plans?
Well, actually, this morning, one of the guys who had the worst reactions that I saw on Twitter was one of my good friends. that diehard Laker fan. It was like, no! Because, Laker fans know that if OKC is really, really good this season, and they could be really, really good, that'll shrink the odds of Paul George and Russell Westbrook, moving to California next season. And the Lakers have been building up to that possibility.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, that possibility might be an improbability for Los Angeles.
All right. Now, if you're Billy Donovan, who gets the ball in crunch time? Who gets the last shot?
I think with Melo coming into this situation, same thing with Paul George, they recognize this is still a Russell's Westbrook's team.
Okay.
So I think everything still starts and ends with him. I still think he gets the ball.
Yep.
He still becomes the primary playmaker and decision maker for OKC. Whether who takes the last shot, it could be any of those three. But it all starts with Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, we'll see. And it's going to be really fun to see how, he's never played with this kind of talent around him. And those two guys have never played with a point guard like him.
Russell Westbrook.
Oh my goodness, can't wait for the season start. Enzo, maraming salamat. Continue the discussion with him on Twitter @hoop.ends. Maraming salamat. See you again soon.
Hi guys, keep watching The Score for the latest sports updates and don't forget to subscribe to the ABS-CBN Sports in Action YouTube channel.